In today's Sharp Saturday video, we're going to take a look at a really cool knife from the folks at Skallywag Tactical, a new brand on the channel. This is the Gunner's Mate. That's what's coming up next here on Survival on Purpose. Welcome back to Survival on Purpose, your home for trustworthy information and gear reviews related to camping, survival, and general preparedness for regular folks. My name's Brian. Thanks for joining me. And as I said, in today's video, we're going to take a look at this Skallywag Tactical Gunner's Mate fixed blade knife from the folks at Skallywag Tactical, who, by the way, in a departure from our normal sponsor for Sharp Saturdays of Big Daddy Unlimited, Skallywag Tactical is the sponsor for this video, which means basically that they're paying me to show you this knife. So there you go. So, and also, you see these beautiful, pretty kitchen knives here. We're not going to take a look at these in this video because I don't want this to be a 20-minute video, but it's just a sneak peek. We're going to have an upcoming little feature on these knives as well. They're really, really nice Damascus kitchen knives and really nice holder. But I digress. Today's video, we're going to be talking about more of a tactical style knife. This again is the Gunner's Mate. Let me give you a little close-up, take you down to the old stump top. We'll talk about the specs of this thing, get to doing some knife stuff, and then we'll probably get a little scientific with this one because you know this is screaming balance test. So let's get down to the old stump top without any further ado. Okay, so here is the Skallywag Tactical Gunner's Mate, and this is an absolute honking beast of a knife. It features a overall length of 14¼ inches. Like I said, it's a Hoss with a 1 full pound for the knife alone. It's 1/4 inch thick at the spine with a full tang, heavy duty 1/4 inch thick full tang, and it features an 8½ inch blade of D2 steel. As best I can tell, if you can, let me see if we can get a close up on that. I think this is a saber grind, high saber grind with a secondary bevel. Little bit of a recurve here. It's got a finger choil here, pretty good sized finger choil, which, you know, with a big knife like this, I guess I'm okay with it. We've talked about this before. I'm not a huge fan of these choils like this, but when you got a big heavy knife like this, I understand the reason for doing that. So it gives you, you can get a little closer to the actual carving part, but you still have enough big heavy mass here to do bigger stuff. So it's anytime you talk about a big heavy knife, it's always a compromise between doing heavy tasks and fine tasks. So, you know, I think that's a reasonable compromise, and I like this one's big enough to get my finger in, but so there's less likelihood of you hurting yourself right there. But it's also got a nice finger guard here for when you're doing heavy duty stuff. A G10 handle with some swells here, and it's got this nice hook on the pommel, I believe that's what it's called, so for chopping or whatnot. They say this thing is actually designed with limb chopping in mind, whether trees or otherwise. And again, G10 texture scales, and it has this very nice Kydex sheath with the Tech-Lock style. I don't know if it's an actual Tech-Lock or just a Tech-Lock style, but pretty nice sheath there. That I like the push button thing on it. I like those better than the little clips or whatever that you have to slide. And it works really well. You can put this on a belt. You can adjust these these spacers here for the width of your belt. You can turn this thing around all kinds of different ways, and the sheath itself snaps in very well. So for a Kydex sheath, it's pretty good retention. There's no adjustable retention or anything, but it's pretty good. And nice thumb push here. Hey, Kuma. Okay, get back. So anyway, that's the specs and details. Let's get to doing so. Oh, by the way, this is a nice PVD black finish. It's also available with the regrinding here, so the PVD's gone on it. So either way, pretty nice there. And again, heavy duty, hefty. Let me give you a little close up of this thing just so you can see the different profiles of it and stuff. It's got this little notch right here, kind of just I guess that's just for style, but it's just a nice looking, very nice feeling knife. But let's just see how well it does some of that knife stuff. First of all, you know we got to do the redneck sharp test, and I'm telling you, I was looking at my arms the other day. I'm trying to minimize the rambling on this video, but I'm looking at my arms and I realized, man, I got like hair, no hair, and then bushy hair. It's like really weird looking. So, but we're gonna continue on with the redneck sharp test. So we'll start with the part right up here. Oh man, and yep, okay, got some nice little patch there. Let's move up here a little bit, and it's, oh yeah, so it's all over. It's shaving. Okay, so it passes the redneck sharp test. I got to do it. I don't like it. I'm not a fan of the paper cut test. Some people think that's the best test ever. I've had people tell me that every time. I disagree, but we'll do it anyway because it depends on the paper and depends on a lot of things. But let's just see. Hit a little wrinkle there, but okay. It's by golly. Okay, I'm gonna say it passes. So that's two standard sharpness tests. Let's do some other stuff. So it's a pretty big, hefty knife. I've got, oh man, a pretty big, hefty piece of wood here, and this is a privet hedge that has gone crazy wild. I cut this thing down, it turned into a tree. I cut it down. This is green. As you can see, it's only about, I think I cut it down like 3 days ago, but I don't know if you're familiar with privet or not. It is some of the hardest wood I've ever worked with, and it's very dense. So first of all, you can see, just do some little small chopping here. You can see how green it is. But this thing, so for the green privet, it chops. I'm going to attempt to chop this about 3 and 3.5 inch, almost 4 inch piece of privet in two with a knife. So, because I cut this in with a chainsaw. So you ready? Just bear with me. This may take a minute, but we're going to do it. I know that's not in the center of the screen, but it's the best I can do. Okay, so, honestly don't think that was too bad, and give you a little quick rundown of the chopping. Okay, so this right here comes in this little part comes in really handy, and you see my little pinky is a little red. I wasn't wearing any gloves, so I like to do that without gloves just to see what kind of hot spots I get from it. Obviously gloves would increase the comfort level, but not too bad really. It's I would probably like it if that was a little more relieved right there, but it is relieved. You can see that right there. It's kind of relieved a little bit. Doing some serious chopping. I think if I was going to chop a lot with it, that might get a little uncomfortable there on my pinky, unless I was wearing gloves. But it got the job done. And again, this is some really, really, really hard wood. You know what's next, don't you? That horrible, evil, ridiculous, never needed batoning. We're going to do some batoning, yeah, because we're going to do it, so deal with it. So let me back you up and give you a good angle on this one. Okay, so that's all in the frame, isn't it? So we'll just start with this. Man, it's just it's dense. Okay, it's going to be some pretty serious. Obviously it's big enough and it's 1/4 inch thick. It should baton and split really well because it goes from 0 to 1/4 in about an inch and 1/4 maximum thickness. So, but let's just see. Okay, so not too bad to split this green privet. Okay, we'll split it again. Okay, so as I said, this is green. So I don't really know that carving feathers, curls with green wood is a fair test, but because it is green, it's not really dry. But you know what, we can try that and just see if it'll start a fire. If we can strike, if we carve thin enough curls, maybe it will start a fire. I don't know. Let's try and see. And if it doesn't, then I got some dry wood here too here. So let's just see. Some really paper thin shavings here from this green wood. I don't think they're gonna strike and burn very well because they are green and there's a lot of sap still in here, kind of a lot of moisture in here still. So as a matter of fact, I'm just gonna set that aside. I don't think it's gonna work. It's very fine curls, as you can see, but I've got I got some of that cedar right here. I like carving curls out of cedar. So let's try that. Let's see if I can make me a nice smooth part here to carve. And let's try the cedar. You want to? That's Georgia. It's Georgia talking. You want to? You want to do that? Y'all want to? So, man, you just look at this. So I'm actually using the choil because finger choil here, just because it does give you really a lot of control there up against the really close to the handle. So I get that. And if it wasn't there, I don't think I would have as much control on the handle. Even if the blade came up to here, I don't think I'd have as much control. So I get it. I just don't, what I don't get is some of the knives, the choils, like the ones we looked at recently. They were great knives, but the choils are just big enough to where you can slice your finger right there. And this one's a little bit bigger, so it's actually got enough room for your fingers. And man, it's carving some serious, nice little curls. Just to give you an example, let me give you a little close-up on these. Now this is just a couple, right, that I managed to keep on the stick, but those are nice. Okay, while we're carving and scraping and whatnot, you know what's next. We got some of the good old fat wood. And so let's just see how we can do first carving of the fat wood, because fat wood always carves differently than anything else I've ever had to try to carve, because the resin content is really high. But really what I like to do with fat wood is scrape it. So let's see how well it scrapes some fat wood. You want to? Because the spine is pretty 90 degree. It's not super sharp, but I guess it's getting the job done. Look at that. Oh yeah. Oh, that smells so good. Can you smell that? Just smell it. Oh, come on, take a deep whiff. It smells great. Okay. All right, there we go. Now I know that'll burn. There's not a doubt in my little mind. So, before we test that, just for kicks, I want to try this green wood, this really fine. I'm going to bunch it up here where I can get the fat wood out of the way so we don't cheat anything. But I want to try. It's not very much here, but let's just see if we can if it'll catch a spark, because there's some really fine ones in there. And today, I'm going old school. I just grabbed the first ferro rod I could find. I keep this one hanging over my desk. It's just the old Schrade jumbo ferro rod, and we're going to try it and see. How well it does. So it wanted to burn, but it kept going out. And look, I know I'm going to have somebody comment on this video telling me I'm just doing this wrong, or at least they'll be helpful and say it's so much better if you plant the knife and pull it. For me, that's not my way I do it. I know that might be smarter and might be better, but I've never been accused of being the sharpest tool in the shed. We'll try just the cedar. Okay, finally, just the cedar went up and it smells so good burning. Let's put this green stuff on there, see if it'll burn now. I put it out. So let me show you why, again, if you haven't seen it, why I love me some fat wood. Oh, there we go. Got to get it on it now. We can put this on there. I bet it'll burn. No, I put it out. Oh no, Mr. Bill. Come on now. When you can put a fat wood fire out, you're doing something. That's a special skill. All right, so now we're going good though. It ain't going out now. Okay, so that was a practical testing of the Skallywag Tactical Gunner's Mate fixed blade knife and I gotta say, and I think you'll have to agree with me, as you saw, this thing did absolutely great at every phase of the industry standard practical testing that we do here at Survival on Purpose. It passed the redneck sharp test, every area of the blade, the paper cut test. It chopped through that admittedly green but extremely dense 3 or 4 inch privet in a reasonably good amount of time for a knife. Baton's like nobody's business. It's a 1/4 inch wide, obviously. Carved great, although I did use a choil. I know, and I've said in the past I don't like these choils, but this one is actually a little just big enough for my fingers, and I didn't have any chance of cutting myself, and it really did make it very useful to get to that part of the blade there. So you know, sometimes you have to eat a little crow and then take your words back. So I don't like most choils. Some of them I like better than others. And then also 90-degree spine, scraped really well. I struck both wood and a ferro rod, so just in my opinion, it passed all those tests very well. But as you know, here at Survival on Purpose, we is all about the science, and to that end, we maintain a, say it with me, state-of-the-art cutting-edge knife testing facility at our worldwide headquarters. And one of the industry standard knife tests we like to put every fixed blade through is the aerodynamic balance test using the balance, orientation, and rotation device. So I would be remiss if we didn't stick to the scientific method on this one. So let's check this one out. Are you ready? Whoop, 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 whoop. That wasn't good, but no damage. So let's try again. Whoop, 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 whoop. A little better. Put a little split in the balance, orientation, and rotation device. So shall we try again? Whoop, whoop, whoop. Not bad. One more time. Okay, that's 3 in a row. We're going to call that one balanced. Okay, well, that was the science part of the knife testing here on the Skallywag Tactical, excuse me, Gunner's Mate knife. And I got to say, I'm liking this knife a whole bunch. And it's just, it seems like a really, really good all-around big beefy knife, and you know I like me some big knives. So anyway, there'll be a link in the video description below where you can check it out yourself. And these knives are on sale right now. They're regularly like 200 something bucks. They're on sale for $199 right now at the time of this video anyway. So very, very well made, very nice, kind of a high-end knife, but a very nice knife, and it gets the job done. So be sure and check them out. And thanks again to the folks at Skallywag Tactical for sending me this so I can show it to you, and for sponsoring this video. And don't forget, we're going to take a look at the kitchen knives in another episode or something, but they make some really nice stuff. I ran into these guys at Blade Show this year in Atlanta. Folks, it's a veteran-owned company, just good folks to deal with, and they make some really good stuff. I think I actually had one of their tactical daggers they make. They're some really cool little tactical self-defense daggers in a battle box a while back. So they just got some cool stuff. I encourage you to check them out. Anyway, I'll put a link below. I really appreciate you watching Survival on Purpose. Once again, my name's Brian. Remember, survival's not an accident, so be prepared. I'll see you next time.